Today, we're diving into some pretty fascinating psychology. We're going to uncover 4 subtle habits that might just be holding your brain back from its absolute full potential. So let me just ask you this straight up. Are small, everyday habits holding your brain back? It's a really powerful question, because the research is crystal clear. Certain behaviors, things we do without even thinking, can actually stop our brains from firing on all cylinders. And let's get one thing straight right from the get-go. This has nothing to do with intelligence. It's not about being smart or stupid, not at all. This is all about cognitive performance. And the amazing thing about performance is it can always be improved. Okay, let's get into the first one. This is a habit you might recognize almost immediately in yourself or others. We're calling it the impulse reaction. So what we're looking at here is a really stark contrast, right? On one side, you've got that instant reaction. Psychology tells us this is tied directly to weaker impulse control and, you guessed it, lower problem-solving skills. But on the other side, you have the strategic pause. And honestly, that tiny little gap, that moment you take between something happening and how you respond, that is the absolute bedrock of smart thinking and self-control. All right, moving on to our second habit. And this one, well, it's kind of a destructive trap that so many people fall into without ever seeing it. It's the blame game cycle. At the very heart of the cycle is this really important psychological idea, metacognition. All it means is the ability to think about your own thinking. Simple, right? But when we don't have this skill, our first instinct after a mistake isn't to look inward. Nope, it's to look outward and point fingers, and that just completely shuts down any chance to learn. And this just lays out that negative loop perfectly. So, step 1, a mistake happens. It happens to all of us. But then, step 2, we immediately blame someone or something else. Because of that, step 3 is basically guaranteed. No self-reflection happens. And the result? You end up right back where you started, repeating the exact same mistake. It's like a cognitive hamster wheel that prevents any real growth. Our third sign is a truly fascinating and, believe it or not, a super common cognitive bias. Let's call it the confidence trap. You've probably heard of this one before, the Dunning-Kruger effect. To put it simply, it's a weird glitch in our thinking where people who have low ability in a certain area dramatically overestimate how good they actually are. The real danger here isn't just being wrong, it's that this bias makes people completely blind to their own mistakes and really resistant to any kind of helpful feedback. And this visual just makes it so clear, doesn't it? Look at that gap. You might feel like you're operating at a 90% skill level. You feel super confident. But in reality, maybe it's closer to 30. That huge difference is the Dunning-Kruger gap, and it's basically where learning just stops cold. Because how can you fix a problem you're convinced you don't even have? And that brings us to our fourth and final habit. This one is especially relevant in the crazy, hyper-distracted world we all live in today. It's the unfocused mind. Now, this isn't just about getting distracted once in a while. We're talking about a chronically short attention span. That's a huge sign of weak executive function, which is your brain's CEO, the part that plans and manages things. When that's weak, your brain just gets stuck operating on this really shallow level, constantly jumping from one thing to the next, and it never gets to the deep focus you need for real problem solving or creativity. Okay, so we've just looked at 4 pretty tough habits, but here's the most important part of this whole thing. Let's pivot to the solution, because it turns out flexibility is your superpower. So here's the big takeaway. The crucial point is this. These habits don't define your intelligence forever. They are not permanent fixtures. The second you simply notice them, the moment you catch yourself reacting impulsively or starting to shift blame, you've already taken the biggest, most powerful step to changing them. It all starts with self-awareness. And this quote just sums it all up so perfectly. The smartest minds are the most mentally flexible. See, true cognitive strength isn't about never making a mistake. It's about having the adaptability and the humility to see when you're wrong, to self-correct, and to just keep learning. And hey, I want to point something out directly to you. The very fact that you're watching this, that you are curious enough to even explore potential blind spots in your own thinking, well, that in itself is a massive sign of high-level cognition. You're already doing the very thing we've been talking about. You're demonstrating that self-awareness that is so essential for growth. So I'll leave you with this one last thought, a question to take with you. Looking back at these 4 habits we talked about, the impulse reaction, the blame game, the confidence trap, the unfocused mind, which one is the first one you're going to choose to simply notice? because that's where everything begins to change.